As we continue to navigate work life amid a global pandemic, we're all asking ourselves, why are we coming to the office? What we expect to see when we get there? And how are all of these new and exciting things sustainable? Hi, I'm Caroline Lemoine.
And I'm Megan Dobstaff. So the pandemic taught us that we can work, eat, and play pretty much anywhere and everywhere. And so Caroline, tell us, why are we coming back to the office? Or in other words, why are we putting on real pants again?
The real question we've all been asking. So, we've all proven that we can feel relatively effective while working from home. We've done it for the past 2 years now, but there's all of these intangibles that we were missing: social interaction, mentorship, deep concentration, and of course, collaborative work with our peers. So these provide the added value of that physical workplace. In order to invite those existing team members back and attract our new talent, the office needs to be reimagined as a destination rather than an obligation that prioritizes experience and embodies company values and culture.
Totally.
Oh, one more question for you, Megan. What do we want to see in our offices when we get there?
I'm so glad you asked. The workplace, it really does need to become a compelling destination, right? With third spaces or third places woven into its ecosystem. And third places and co-working spaces are increasingly preferred for a variety of work activities. And they pretty much differ, for every company. So for a media group, where you previously might have had recording studios and a few podcast rooms, you might now have an entire sort of artist's wing or sort of suite, dedicated to the visiting artists and the actual talent. So these are hybrid models that really prioritize, enhancing the amenity scope and programming, and dedicated to specific work typologies. And they're really going to be different for every organization.
That's right. And, with this reimagining of third places and very purpose-led amenities, we're now seeing an introduction of desk sharing ratios as the new normal. Mm-hmm. So we're really going to see an uptick in that amenity programming of all organizations. And that programming needs to be tailored to the needs of each individual company or organization. Right, Megan?
Yeah, totally. And so, for example, another client that we're working with in Dublin is currently taking advantage of the opportunity to test the increasing of their desk sharing ratios. They did have a desk sharing ratio before the pandemic. Now they're increasing that to really give back a space to their amenities programming. So whereas, when we started out the project, they were going to have a floor that was half workstations and sort of half, amenities. They're giving the entire floor back, and that's really going to, be programmed with, spaces that, bring their company together around craft and food and ideation, which is really the ethos of their company culture.
Very cool. So one other topic that's very hot right now: how can we make this workplace a compelling destination in a way that's sustainable and good for our planet?
Hot topics. So it's totally no secret that sustainable products are going to continue to attract consumers. And so a really, concerted movement is underway to decarbonize as many products as possible across the industry. And that's, inclusive of supply chains and the workplaces that produce them. So, for example, handcrafted furniture is all the rage. It's making its way onto all job sites. Bespoke, one of a kind, that can sometimes be a couple side tables, sometimes a whole suite of conference tables, or for some clients, we've even done sort of handmade workstation tops for all of the workstations.
That's awesome. So, whether an organization is pursuing an official accreditation or not, we as designers need to advocate for those sustainable choices on every project. This is part of Gensler's mission and includes working with outside vendors and consultants to maximize our sustainable practice while minimizing our carbon footprint. For instance, some carpet companies we're working with are starting to offer incentives to specify their product, and at the end of a project's life cycle, they will come back and recycle 100% of the product so that the sustainable practices are carried through from specification to project closure, and even into the end of a project's life.
That's awesome. So, all these shifts have culminated in a real opportunity to, rethink the physical workplace and to really offer a unique and, fulfilling experience that can attract people, whether that's through new technologies or, new types of spaces.
That's right. So thank you for joining us today and listening to how we can design meaningful, flexible, and sustainable workplaces in this ever-changing world.
Yeah, totally. And if you'd like to hear more, be sure to check out Genzo.com for all of the firm's research and insights. Cheers.
Cheers.